This episode is sponsored by Overcast, a better podcast app than whatever you're using right now, unless it's Overcast. Get Overcast for free on the App Store.
전화가 잘 안 들려서 그래.
Welcome to the Ajumma Show, the only show on the internet hosted by two queer Koreans. That's not true. Is that true? Strike that.
Well, welcome to one of the only shows on the internet.
Hosted by two queer Koreans named Peter Kim
and Eunji Kim.
Yes, welcome back to the Ajumma Show. We're talking everything, politics, culture, romantic life. We just screamed a whole bunch on a Patreon episode about comedy and privileged schools. Privileged day schools. So go check that out if you want to become a Patreon member. There's really low levels. You get cool swag. Yeah. My younger brother, Eunji, he saw my swag box. You know how like I have that box full of stuff that you sent me that I like send out. He was like, "Oh my God, you should sell that." I'm like, "No, this is for our patrons." He's like, "Nah, you should like put it up on a site. Like people will buy that. I'd buy that tote." And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't want to do all that." She's like, "I'll do that. How much you want to pay?" And I was like, "Nothing. I don't want to pay anyone to do it."
Yeah, we decided we don't want to do a
so
장사.
stoked about it.
We do not want to do 장사. Like we just don't. It's just only a show.
This is not a 장사 show.
It's a giba. It's like
we do this for our well-being.
Yeah, it's like it's only for. It's like literally the merch is a service for the Patreon members.
That's it.
Yeah,
you can't get the merch. I'm sorry, it's not for sale. Sorry. Okay. But secondly, my brother was like, this Ajumma with the Crocs and the hair and everything. It's like a perfect look. Yeah. Like he wants us to like really brand this thing, and he has like. He's like trying to leave his work, his career, to do something in my quote business. And he keeps streaming. He's like, "Yo, what's a manager do?" I'm like, I don't think you have the soft skills for this. I'm sorry, you're just not the man to be managing me.
He could do 장사. It sounds like he's got like the gruff demeanor of a man who loves a wholesale discussion.
He's a 장사꾼 for sure. Yeah. He's like. I would say he's 80% 장사꾼, 20% 사기꾼.
Yeah. Like he's definitely got the vibes of like kicking something like 아저씨가 얼마.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like that. I like that energy.
I met with an agency, I told you about this.
Yeah.
That listened to our podcast.
It's crazy to me.
And this agency that I met, so I'm agency shopping, if you will. I dumped my old agency. I've talked about it on the podcast because they just weren't up to my standards. And I'm meeting with a couple of agencies, and this one listened to our podcast and quoted back our podcast to me.
What did they say?
Said, "Hi, I'm blah, blah, blah. He, him, Pfizer." And I was like, oh! I felt so seen and heard. That felt so good. So if you're listening again, which I'm sure you're not, thank you for that. That's very nice. But that's like a little bit of the 장사꾼 in that guy, the businessman who's like, I listened to your podcast. And he started pitching me about like, this is what you should do to like increase your Patreon, and this is what you should do to like structure your show, so you should have people call in and blah blah. And I'm like, he's like, kind of like Dateline or Hotline or whatever. I was like, oh, that all sounds super cool, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do any of the work. If someone was like, oh, I'll get you guys every Wednesday when you record someone to call in.
Yeah.
Great. Mm-hmm. Who's going to do that for me? Until someone decides to do that for you and me, because I know you ain't doing it.
No.
I ain't doing it.
No.
We've been doing this for 4 years the same exact way. This is why we don't have people on the podcast. You know how many people ask us, including Sandra Oh, to be on our podcast? We say no, because it's too hard. It's too much work for us to like You think like we're not in a studio? Eunji's at her house in some basement that her husband shoved her in. I'm under my stairs. Like this is a guerrilla operation. Maybe if we lived in the same city and we had a studio to go to, then a producer could like help. You know, like do the whole thing. But like that's not where we are. Like we just do this because we do this.
Yeah, and Phil is gracious enough to stitch this all together.
Yes, engineer Phil.
Yeah, so like you know, it's I don't know. Like you're right. Like if they had some sort of producer or if anybody out there wants to help us. Go for it.
You want to produce the show?
Yeah.
Reach out to us, ajumashow@gmail.com. No one has reached out to us in the 4 years we've done it, so I'm guessing either you don't care or you love what this is.
Yeah.
And if that's true, something wrong with you. Because there's way better podcasts. Way better edited. No, but this is the only queer Korean podcast hosted by Peter Kim and Eunji Kim.
Oh my God. Wait, how did the sleep study go?
Oh my God. Okay, so I went
you were out for like a couple of days this week.
I was.
Yeah.
So I went to my sleep study on Sunday and at 10 o'clock I arrive. And this guy puts 1,000 nodes on me all over my body. My head, my face, my chest, my legs, everywhere. My arms. I had a finger thing where you like it like
whoa,
the heart monitor.
Yeah.
Stuff shoved in my nose to track my breathing, like all of it. And they're like, oh, you know, we're gonna have a nice bed, which was nice, and then we're gonna have TV. Only had the basic 7 channels, so that was
shocking.
Weird.
Yeah,
shocking. And good thing I brought a book. But it was hard to fall asleep. If you guys don't know what a sleep study is, you go to this lab basically, but it's kind of like they make it into a bedroom and they make it really dark and they put all these stuff on you and they just like monitor your sleep all night. And he said, if you get to this point, which is a sleep apnea point that needs a CPAP machine, we will like readjust you and then put the CPAP machine on you for the rest of the night. Oh. And he said the minimum threshold to get that machine was 1 disturbance per minute. Okay. So that would be like, sorry. 1 disturbance every 2 minutes. That would be like a high point. I had 2 disturbances to 3 disturbances a minute.
Oh
meaning
my God.
I stopped breathing
2 to 3
times a minute. I've been doing this my whole life.
Peter,
I've had sleep apnea my whole life.
This is the reason why you live like every day might be your last.
Yes, because every day is my last. Because I'm not breathing while I sleep.
Die. That's crazy.
I'm dying and resurrecting every day.
Jesus.
Jesucristo. Yeah. So he rushed in. Usually he was like, oh, we'll go for a couple hours. He rushed in before even an hour because he was like, I can't watch this happen to him. He puts the CPAP machine on me.
Yeah.
The CPAP machine is just like a mask that like kind of forces pressured air. So it goes into, you're breathing through your nose and you're sleeping on your back. Yeah. I've never slept on my back in my life.
You're a stomach
I try. I'm side stomach. I can't breathe otherwise.
Wow.
Yeah. So he rushes in, puts the thing on me, and it takes a while for me to get it to sleep because this thing's on my face.
Yeah.
I've never had something. It's like I'm truly like breathing like Darth Vader.
Yeah. It makes noise. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I finally fall asleep, and a minute later he comes in, and he's like, "All right," and I go, "Whoa, what's going on?" And he goes, "It's 6 o'clock." I did not realize I had slept for 6 hours.
Oh my God.
It felt like a minute. It was crazy. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, that happens a lot when people first breathe. And then he shows me the like readings.
Yeah.
And before CPAP machine, I was having 2 to 3 disturbances a minute. Mm-hmm. After CPAP machine, 1 disturbance every 30 minutes.
Wow.
A slight like.
So you must have, did you reach REM sleep?
Barely.
Interesting. Did you feel rested?
So rested.
Yeah.
I woke up like there's a bluebird on my shoulder. It's factual. Everything is satisfactual. Zippity doo dah. Like it was.
Do you feel better? Do you have the CPAP now?
No. So like I'm now back not breathing again because they have to send the results over to my sleep doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor has to prescribe a machine. And then that way my insurance pays for the machine. Otherwise it's like $1,000 or something or whatever the fuck.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'll buy it.
Sure.
Fuck. Like I'm breathing again.
Yeah.
I feel crazy, Unji. This thing like monitored that I was just not breathing.
I mean, did you ever dream?
All the time. I'm dreaming all the time now.
Wow.
So like, I think what it is like, I'll fuck around like that. And then I'll go into a deep sleep.
Yeah.
And just snore the entire time.
Yeah.
And then get woken up. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think this will help your anxiety probably?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. I think my anxiety is due to the lack of restful sleep.
Yeah, for sure.
And my anger and my Han, maybe.
Yeah. For sure. Because if I get good sleep, I'm a different person.
Right. How often do you feel, anecdotally, that you feel out of 7 nights, you get good sleep?
Once a month.
Why? Are you an apnea person too or no?
No, I have insomnia.
You can't fall asleep.
I can't fall asleep. I can't fall asleep.
Shit.
I don't stay asleep. I'm like constantly dreaming too. Like I dream a lot. I have like really vivid dreams about like falling.
Me too.
Yeah.
Really vivid dreams.
Yeah. So it's like almost constant.
So we both had bad sleep.
Yeah. Because I wake up and I'm like in the middle of a dream.
And then do you ever go back to it?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. I reconnect. To dreams. Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I feel like that's part of my reasoning with like, I feel very close to dream world because of how often I'm inside of it. Like I am.
As you are aware of it.
Yes. Cause I'm so aware of it. And like I've had like multiple like themes and symbols in my dreams that have like cropped up throughout my life. Like when I used to have like a recurring nightmare, I don't even know if it was a nightmare, but it was a recurring dream since I was like 10 of me dying. But the only thing that changes in the dream is like the perspective of where I am. So like it's always me falling down a flight of stairs, and sometimes
But you're in a different city?
No. I'm falling down the stairs in Paris, in Rome.
In Ibiza. Yeah.
No, the stairs sometimes change, like whatever building, but this perspective changes. Sometimes I'm falling down, and sometimes I'm watching myself fall.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Whoa.
Like, yeah.
Interesting. So I mean, like the falling down is very similar to. I have this recurring dream of not reading the right material or book for a test. And it's always this English class. And it's a recurring dream of that same class, same book. And I'm always like looking at the test going, fuck, I don't know any of these answers. It's the feeling of being like not prepared or not in control.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is something that I recognize in myself a lot, is that I feel it's also that anxiety like of not being in control.
Yes. And
that it reflects in my dream a lot.
I get that. I have those too. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's like,
does your mom ever talk about like what dreams mean and stuff like that?
No, not with me, but I think I know that she believes in it. She's gone to like psychics and stuff like that. When she was worried
like Korean
about
people,
me.
they do that.
Yeah.
They talk about like they do dream analysis. My mom used to always talk about like how if she dreamt about something, she would always call me.
Yeah.
And be like, 괜찮아?
Yes.
무슨 꿈 꿨어? And I'm like, you are freaking me out.
Because it's this like close connection to, And maybe it's just because like Korean people sleep bad. I don't know. Let us know.
Maybe we're bad sleepers. Yo, other Koreans or people, Fokkers, do you notice that Koreans are not sleeping well? Is this an issue?
Because I feel like this connection to like dreams and dreamland and figures that loom inside of it, it's like very big.
Yeah. Do you sometimes feel like you might stop realizing what is reality and what is dream?
Yeah, those are like some of my most intense nightmares. Where like I can feel things, like tactile things, and I'm trying to convince myself that this is reality in the dream, and I can't figure it out.
I've built cities in my dreams where I return to, where I come back and I go, oh, we're here again. Oh, I'm gonna go down this alley. It's kind of like Inception.
Yeah, that's Kishin. That's crazy. That's not okay. Like, whoa.
That's Kishin is the best response to anything. That's like what we were talking about. Like, you should die. Was that at the Patreon? Now I can't even remember. What's Patreon? What's the
reality?
podcast? What's reality?
But no,
what's
that's
streaming?
Scary, Peter. That's so scary. Why can you do that?
Yo, isn't that fucked up?
Yes. Yes, it's fucked up.
It's so fucked up, and I return to the same two cities every single time, and when I go back, I build upon, and I know where things are. It's fucking psycho, and I need it to stop, which is why the CPAP machine is really, really important that I get this.
Because truly, it sounds like sleep is such a huge part of health. Like, I've been trying to fix my sleep issues for many years, and with my Botox, and like that certainly helped. But the deep sleep is for me very elusive. Very elusive, because I think some of it's like if you're really anxious, your heart can't calm down.
It can't slow down to the point where you're like relaxing.
No, for a while, what was helping was I would sleep like literally almost on top of my husband, so that my heart could hear his.
Oh, and match the slowness of it. Oh my god. Oh, that's romantic.
Is it? I was like,
beautiful.
I'm like a parasite. Like, I'm like, oh, teach me how you do that. Like, like, let me siphon off some of your health. Like,
well, I'll tell you what. I've just re-upped my anxiety pills, so I'm a huge proponent. Of anxiety pills.
But just even something for maybe sleep, because like it did. Like maybe that didn't seem to help your sleep at all?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting to sleep too.
Yes.
Just like slowly, like what a nice glass of like single malt whiskey does.
Yeah.
It just kind of rounds out everything, and you're like,
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't get that way though. Even if I drink at all, I'll be up.
You should ask your doctor about...
If Effexor is right for you.
No, not Effexor. Not Effexor. I have a separate... It's an allergy medicine. Mm-hmm. It's called hydroxyzone.
Okay.
You guys, this is not a medical podcast. Do not take any of this advice and fucking sue us later, all right?
Yeah.
This is not... Yeah, don't do that. But this is something that I learned from my doctor. My doctor was like, these are for like... when you're feeling anxious, not everyday medicine, right? But like, helping you go to sleep, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But it is an allergy medicine. I talked about this, I think, that has anti-anxiety effects. Oh. So it clears up my sinuses. And maybe that's what's helping me feel better, is that I could fucking breathe again or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm also a huge proponent of acupuncture, which I'm going to try to do.
Okay.
It's supposed to help.
Let me know
sinuses.
how that goes.
Yeah, it's supposed to help with sinuses as well. Like
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm all about like a holistic, like goop me up. Goop me up. Like, I'll put a yonic egg in my pussy. I'll put some needles in my face.
What's that supposed to do? That yoni egg?
Yeah, it's supposed to recharge your yoni. Your sexual energy.
What's a yoni? Oh, it's your libido?
Yoni is like it's like the counterpart to phallic energy. It's yoni. So like that's what that sort of your vagina is supposed to be. Like it's the center of your sexual energy. So like the yoni egg is supposed to like help recharge, and also like you're supposed to you kegel when you have to hold it in.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to help with that shit.
Get it tight.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight. Yoni.
Yeah, but I mean,
what a dumb thing. We're so stupid as people. We're dumb.
But I mean, I'm all about everything. So I'm like really excited to hear about this apnea thing. When are you supposed to get it? The CPAP.
I think 7 days. I'm supposed to call my doctor.
I'm so curious to see if it'll fix stuff.
I really, you know what? I should do like a controlled experiment where I stop taking meds and stop doing therapy and just do CPAP.
No, don't do that. But I'm just saying, you already know you're lying.
How will I know what's contributing? Oh, it's holistic. Okay, I like that. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Sorry, were you going to say something?
No, I'm good.
What were you going to say? No. The audience needs to hear it.
Peter, I've already forgotten.
Okay, never mind. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, we're back, guys. So this week, the House passed a bill. What was the number of votes? 364 to 62. That's a massive. Yeah. That's basically.
It was easily passed.
Easily.
In the House.
All votes in opposition came from one party.
You guess.
You guess. Why don't you guess what party that was? Okay. So the legislation is heading to Biden for his signature.
Yeah.
And the Asian hate crime, so it's a COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act.
Yeah.
Introduced by Senator Mazie Hirono, Democrat from Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii.
And the legislation would assign just like someone in the Justice Department officially to review and expedite reports of hate crimes related to coronavirus, which is Asian hate crimes.
Yes.
And expand support for, it's kind of vague, local state law enforcement agencies responding to these hate crimes, issue guidance on mitigating what kind of language to use and stuff like that. Like, it's more of a
it's a gesture.
It's more of a show.
Yeah, it's a gesture.
Yeah. It's a gesture.
And it has the full support and full power of the federal government backing it. So it is a symbol, certainly, but also there's it would essentially sort of funnel all the information currently that is being, it's like a huge diaspora and like various like individual organization, independent nonprofit organizations are collecting this data. This would be a place, and it would be in a place where someone could enact and do something about it. It would all be through the federal government. So the full backing, and that's powerful, right? Even if it is symbolic. Even if it is symbolic.
That's DOJ shit. Like DOJ's getting involved now. Yeah. So that at least should start letting the people who are doing these acts know that we're not schoolyard in rules anymore. Like, this is about to become a federal offense. So, and we already talked about how in Georgia they are seeking the death penalty for this hate crime. Right. So things are
currently, there's no actual federal like tracking of hate crime against Asians. There's actually no. I mean, it's strangely enough the same with like killings done by police. Like, no, there's no federal database.
Weird.
Like, it's
so
all
odd that coincides like that.
But it's just like, it's just like things that, and so with this legislation, now it becomes a federal mandated thing. Things will be tracked. Things will be counted. And like, that's sort of like with the census, like you being counted is like the same thing as being heard.
Yeah.
And so that's what this will be.
We got to participate. Yeah. We got to, it's not, it's the old adage about like, if you don't vote, you can't complain. It's true. Like, you can't just sit around and fucking complain that things are bad when you're not engaging in the things. So I love that this is happening. I wish that there was more happening. Grace Meng made the news this week, Democrat from New York, talking about, how proud she is of her colleagues for rallying in these numbers. Judy Chu, a Democrat from California, also getting some screen time. So big ups to them, props to them and we need more of these people to be visible in the news. There was an MSNBC poll this week that was taken saying,
oh my God.
Can you name a prominent Asian person? 46. Wait, I need to look this up because it's so crazy.
It is crazy.
I was sending around. I was so aggravated. So 9% said Bruce Lee, which
he's dead.
Girl, Bruce Lee.
He died a long time ago. God
yeah.
Damn it. All right.
Jackie Chan, who's still alive, but
an icon,
but like also not Asian American.
Yeah.
He's full Chinese. Okay. 42%, an overwhelming number of people said, quote, don't know.
And that's not a Chinese person. That's not a name of a person.
No.
Okay? That's them saying, I don't know.
That's not Mr. No.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
A Japanese filmmaker. It is like literally, they don't know. That's crazy.
That is ignorant.
Also,
that is so fucking ignorant.
What a blow. One, Kamala Harris.
Hello. But this is also like the fault of East Asians kind of commandeering Asian narrative and keeping South Asians into a different corner.
Sure, but Kamala's election was truly like heralded and oftentimes highlighted as her being the first Asian American.
First Asian American.
Yeah, I mean, it was all over the news. So
right.
If these people are willfully ignoring that, one. Two, what a blow to Sandra Oh, who has been a part of the cultural fabric.
What the fuck?
She has been one of the most compelling characters on television. On
the most. That scene where she has to have her dress ripped off by Meredith because she can't breathe. Bitch, shut the fuck up. How do you
ignore that? She is one of at Grey's Anatomy. That's Shondaland, bitch. That's like regular. That's regular America. That's like one of the
regular ass America.
You're watching it. You couldn't even say Christina. You couldn't even say that Christina from the show. Like, I'm not even asking you to know
the real name.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to even know the real fucking name. You couldn't say Christina from that show. Like, that's crazy to me.
That's psychotic. You couldn't say Ken Jeong.
You can say
Ken
the Asian.
Motherfucker. He's in all your masked dancing, singing shows. He's the guy, the doctor, Dr. Ken.
You couldn't even say the Asian guy from the show. You couldn't even say the Asian.
You couldn't say small penis Bush from Hangover. You couldn't give us that. Don't know was 42%.
Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee. Like, truly, like, I mean, I understand the cultural impact that he has had on us, and like, truly grateful, amazing person, love it, amazing, love all of his movies, important person. But he's been dead for so long.
Decades now. The Dragon came out when I was young, and that was a life story about his death. Stop it. Are you crazy?
The Dragon has entered and already exited. Like, I don't understand.
Through the gift shop. This is purposeful, you guys. This is how invisible we are. And it just drives me so crazy. LA Times just released an article about how like 5% or something like that, or something tiny percent of movies or whatever entertainment in Hollywood is led by Asians.
Yeah.
And an overwhelming amount, more than half of that, is The Rock. There's no one else leading movies.
Shut up. You did not.
There's no one else in leads.
That's a joke.
That's not a joke. I swear to God, that was the fucking headline on LA Times.
Most of the Asians in movies is The Rock.
Can you fucking believe this? I mean, yes, he is Asian Pacific Islander.
Yes, of course.
Right?
Yes.
Also, it's a gigantic region. So the fact that this gigantic region has not been shown on big and small screens in a leading way. Daniel Day Kim just tweeted this week saying,
Mostly
I have died in, like, I'm making this number up, but it was 46 out of 48 movies I was in. I have died. And my children and I had to have a talk about it, of why I keep dying. And they have to keep watching me die.
Oh my
it's
God.
a special type of trauma.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you're inherently writing, like, where are the white deaths at? Give me white people dying in movies. Why do we have to die? We have to be the sacrificial lamb for you to learn a lesson? No. Let me learn the lesson. You should die.
I want to learn a lesson.
That's the thing we came up with, by the way. I forgot this was the Patreon. Now my mind is going. But she said at one point, you know, in a very funny, joking way, to someone being, you know, fucking stupid and racist and ignorant, like, you should kill yourself. Which I said, no, we're going to get canceled. But that is a sentiment we feel with people, right? Sometimes we're like, what you're presenting to us is so absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should die.
I mean, like, it's just one of those things that's like truly crazy to me that most of the Asian representation is The Rock. It's so
The
funny
Rock.
to me.
It's
my
so
God.
painfully funny.
Oh my God.
Also, Young Rock renewed on NBC. So, like, The Rock's bringing in money. And it's also, think about it, they always have, like, us leading, Asians leading, if we are aggro fighters, alpha. Like, that's the value they put on us.
Sure.
They're like, if you can fight and beat me up, then fine, you could hang and I can make money off of you. But anything else, we can't have an Asian Seth Rogen just out here smoking weed, you know what I mean? And being dumb and fat. Like, you can't have us do that.
Harold and Kumar, only one. Great movie, though.
A trinity of movies.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, but, like, it's too little.
Yeah.
Harold and Kumar, the last one was made in, what, 2011?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about.
It's so, like, something happened during Obama where we went to a deep sleep.
Yes.
And then when Trump became president, we were like, no, this is worse than when we started. You know, like, we always talk about, there used to be UPN. What happened to UPN?
UPN and WB to me is like, those are shows that are part of my... That's what I watch. I never had
That's
cable.
how I grew up.
Yeah, I never had cable.
Moesha.
Moesha, Mo to the, like, go home, Roger is like, that's the reason why my personality is the way that it is. I'm Roger.
You are Roger.
Like, that's me.
Yeah.
And it was,
what happened to that channel, Channel 9 or whatever? Like, it just disappeared. And now we have CW with every single fucking teen heartthrob, werewolf,
like people in their 20s
DC
playing,
comics.
Yeah.
Like,
people
what the
in their
fuck
20s
is
having
this?
sex with, like, each other as 16-year-olds, and it makes me feel dirty because I'm like, oh yeah, I like it, and, like, you know, it's making me feel good. It's making me feel good. I'm getting turned on by people. The characters are supposed to be 16.
I know, you're like subverting pedophilia into my head. Like, what is this?
Don't make me be like this. But, like, I think that I thought about it a lot, about, like, what happened to that whole landscape. And the thing is, I think we as consumers of content at this point, and us being in a position to do something about it, are asking the same questions, because you're seeing it slightly change. And I think a lot of people our age are asking that question. We grew up watching Black people, Black families in a wide variety of socioeconomic classes and never questioning it. Because the thing that a lot of people inside of executives had always said was, well, people don't want to watch people that aren't like them. And that's categorically untrue.
That's not true at all.
Categorically untrue.
Yes.
Like, All in the Family.
I love
Lisa.
want to
Yes.
What about all the fucking non-white people having to watch your white ass shows? They're not like us. We still watch Succession.
Yes. Love Succession.
Ain't nobody a billionaire, bitch. Like, what the fuck? You think only Jeff Bezos and his goons watch that?
Yes.
It's so nuts. Like the gaslighting from the industry is just crazy.
And it's like, and the thing is, we have to at a certain point ask for it. And that's the thing. It's like, I feel like this is the lesson. Is
we have to take it.
Yes, as POC, we learned that like we can't wait our turn. We simply have to insist that this is the turn.
That's for you guys who are not good enough.
Yeah.
So you figure out a queue to stand in. I'm already better than all of you. So I need to take that position now.
I'm actually starting my own stand right over here, and you have to wait in line to get to me. I mean, like, it's true.
Behind all my people.
It's true.
Fuck
though.
you. Like,
it's true.
Yeah. Like, don't you see that that's the design you created? And you're telling us that's the whole thing behind Joe Rogan being like this week after, like, I don't know what the fuck. He talked about like, oh, white men won't be able to speak anymore with this woke culture. It's like, okay,
good.
Then stop talking.
Yeah, good.
Good.
Sounds awesome.
Pay your dues.
Wait,
Rogan?
Like, what do you mean, like, woke culture, straight white man can't say anything? Or you're saying some racist shit? Wait,
yeah, what are you saying then?
Anything.
Then don't say that. What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, why do you keep trying to say the things that we're telling you we don't want to hear? And you're complaining that we're like muzzling you? He
truly has I think he is the #1 podcast on the internet.
Right? Yes. You say it.
200 million. I mean, like, after the vaccine thing, no effect on his ad sales, effect on his popularity. This motherfucker has 200 million people. That's like that's bigger than all the late night shows combined.
Yes.
And they hit like 500,000 views on YouTube. Easy. And that's like a lot. I mean, one of the most popular podcasts outside of Joe Rogan, I would say, is like Tiger Belly. He's 500,000 views on YouTube. This guy has 200 million.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts. He has so much power and he's complaining. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
You're acting like a little chode. You know that comic Robin Tran?
Yeah.
She changed her Twitter name to Joe Rogan is 5'7", and I can't get over it.
That is so funny.
That's what I'm talking about.
That is so funny. Because he is.
Yeah, you probably have a fucking ugly penis, Joe Rogan. Shut the fuck up. You suck.
I mean, and he's so popular. He's impervious. So, like, it didn't matter what you say or whatever. I mean, like, none of these attempts to, like, you know what I mean? He can say the wrong thing at whatever point, but people are still going to listen to him. He's immensely popular. He's like
the next Rush Limbaugh.
And most of the people that are in his satellite become famous as a result of even being on the show.
Exactly. He's a kingmaker.
Yeah, he launches careers.
That's why everyone bows to him.
But I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, how are you, as a person that almost exclusively has straight white men on your show, and launches them? How are they being
saying
muzzled?
That you're being muzzled? Yeah.
Like, you're literally,
where's the muzzle, bro?
Like, you're literally launching the careers.
You clearly are feeling something from some invisible actor that you can't get past a certain amount of. You're saying that you can't do better than 200 million viewers, rabid viewers who are doggedly for you in every sense of the way.
Yeah.
And you're saying that that's not enough? Come on.
Or are you kind of tacitly, Joe Rogan, telling us that it is too much? Do you want some of this taken away? Is this mantle too heavy for you?
Maybe let us unburden you.
Yeah, have you become too rich? Are your supplements giving you too much energy?
Is your brain too smooth?
But I mean, 100%. I listen to Joe Rogan because I hate listen to all those guys. It is unhealthy and toxic of me, but I can't stop it.
I don't know how you do it.
But listen, I stopped following a bunch of people on social media that I knew were like bad for me, so I started doing this instead. I can't stop. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm crazy. What do you want me to say? But I don't know what else to do. But I just listen to this shit, and let me tell you, I buy into all of the supplements. I'm on fucking nootropics.
You're there for the supplements. You listen to Rogan for the nootropics.
I'm on Alpha Brain. I'm on Brain Fuel. I'm on all the supplements.
How's it going?
It doesn't allow me to sleep, bruh.
Oh shit.
I'm amplified.
Yeah. Maybe you should stop amplifying.
I am optimizing my performance as a human.
I think you need a break. I think you need to take some PTO, bruh. Maybe go to Costa Rica and do some ecotourism.
Yeah, that's what they would love. That's what Joe Rogan loves, that shit. He loves to know about animals and stuff. It's like, it's truly.
The thing is, like, Joe Rogan knows and likes stuff that I would like too. It's just he is a person I don't like. It's just coming from the wrong person.
It's you know what it is. There's always if any of you guys have ever listened to it, you shouldn't. You don't have to. I do it for you. But like, I would say it's always engaging. It's whatever. It's like kind of like stoned conversations that we would have in college. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, oh, isn't this interesting? You go into deep and you're like, oh, talk about it. But it's the same way as if you've ever gotten stoned in a white boy's room, there's always a point at which shit flips and all of a sudden you're like,
you're in the upside down.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, what happened? Why are we talking about this? Oh no, wait, what are my views on this? I don't know. Yeah. Do I think affirmative? Am I here because of affirmative action?
Yeah.
What?
Am I racist?
Oh no, are you racist? Oh shit, I'm in this room alone and I'm so stoned. Like it's. You know, it's like one of those conversations.
Traumatizing.
Yes. Like, I mean, I'm sure anyone that has smoked weed in a predominantly white space has had this experience where, like, everything's chill and then all of a sudden it's not.
It gets unchill.
Yeah. And that's what it is with Rogan's podcast. It's like, oh, this is chill. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no.
Yeah,
like
it goes like into peak conspiracy.
Yeah, like, oh, the velvet hand of gay Hollywood is making sure that the Jews you know what I mean? It's like, like what happened?
How are we here again?
Weren't we just talking about turtles? Like, fuck.
That's what I'm saying. Alpha brain, not great for you. Some brains have to be closed.
It's true.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. We are back with Kick-Ass Koreans. Key!
Yeah! Okay.
All right, my Kick-Ass Korean is Professor Edward T. Chang.
Oh, it's so funny. I was reading this exact same article, and he was so
were you?
Cool. Yeah,
it's such a cool article.
Yes.
So we have talked. You know what's so funny? So this article on the New York Times, by her name is Jill Cowan. It's called "Uncovering the History of America's First Koreatown." Mm-hmm. And she goes into kind of profiling this person, Professor Edward T. Chang, who is a professor of ethnic studies at UC Riverside.
Yes.
And he's the founding director of the Young-Oh Kim Center for Korean American Studies. Mm-hmm. Now, Chang, he stumbled across a map.
Yes.
Issued by an insurance company in 1908.
Yeah.
So he must have been in the archives doing his research or whatever. This feels very like Indiana Jones.
Yes,
you know, like,
this is exactly
but it's like this. So he's like looking through. He's like, oh, wait a minute, this map.
Like,
says,
like him like
what?
pushing aside some dust and like blowing. Yeah, and then seeing like 1908. What Riverside?
Chapa Camp. What? Yeah, it's the first Koreatown in the United States. I must tell the world. So in 1904, as we have said before, is the first Korean to come over to Hawaii to work in the pineapple plantations. And then there was a booming citrus industry in California. And we have profiled An Chang-ho before.
Yes.
So Chang, our kick-ass Korean, is deeply going into and following An Chang-ho's footsteps. Right before he goes to An Chang-ho, by the way, is he is a former kick-ass Korean. Mm-hmm. He is a freedom fighter, a philosopher. He's an activist.
He led the Korean independence movement in Korea back. Yeah,
absolutely. He came here in San Francisco, was mistreated the shit out of, much like what's happening today, and he went back to Korea and brought a lot of like democratic ideas and started pushing back on the Japanese imperialism, which started the revolution, which ended in them leaving, the war, etc. You know how it goes. Yeah. So An Chang was a huge activist, both in Korean history and Korean American history. Now, An Chang-ho was hanging out in Pachapa Camp, which is around Riverside of California, which is right near us.
Yeah.
And he started an employment agency to help other Koreans find work nearby. And slowly, a settlement grew to 4. This is like organic ass shit, guys. Like a few dozen to a few hundred residents. And at its height, there was almost 1,000 Koreans living in Pachapa Camp. And the thing that was different about this place was that it wasn't most like ethnic Asian, like diasporic places in that time were young bachelors, males, who came to work and send money back home.
Right.
But this area was all families. So it was like truly the first Koreatown. And then An Chang-ho moved down to LA afterwards and blah, blah, blah. But this is really cool because this person, Edward T. Chang, has uncovered a piece of Korean American history that roots us in this country in 1908.
Yeah.
That's psychotic.
Yeah.
Some of these people who are telling us to go to our own country came here way after 1908. You know what I mean? Like, so shut the fuck up. And 1908 now is like a number that's really emblazoned in my heart and in my soul now because it really roots me into the earth, especially here in Southern California, where my people have treaded this area and contributed to the community and society. And, you know, I'm sure there were bad eggs too, but whatever, you know, like we were here. We've been here for over 300 years.
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty fucking cool. Oh no, not 300 years. 200. Oh, I can't do the math. 2021, 1908. This is so embarrassing. 203 years. Right?
No. 200 years?
No. 123 years.
Yeah.
Sorry. We've been here 123 years.
Why did you start out with 300? Where's the number that you were dividing?
I don't know. I have 21, I think.
Okay.
I was like, am I in 2100? In my dream world, the cities I built, it's 2122. That's where I get confused. It goes back and forth.
Okay. You're big. I mean, I'm just like, where's this 300? I didn't hear you.
I have no idea. Anyway, look up Professor Edward T. Chang. Maybe he's doing a cool talk or something or a webinar that you could check out.
It's a very cool article. And also they mention inside of the article this incident in Hemet. This incident where in 1913 where like Korean fruit pickers like arrive at this train station and they're like there's this like mob of anti-Japanese residents there, and then this is the most Korean shit ever. The Japanese Association of Southern California tries to help them, saying that Korea is a Japanese dependency, and then these Korean people are like, no. They said we're not Japanese because they left Korea before the annexation. Like that is like the most Korean. Like no, I don't.
Incorrect.
No, we are not a part of you. Like I don't think so. And it's like, but this it's linked inside of the article. This like resource about not only Korean history in California, but honest to God, some of it is it's like a very interesting mix of like labor movement stuff with Koreans because we're so many of us at the time were fruit pickers, but also Christianity, like the Christian huge. So it's like been this intense sort of amalgamation of all these things, and then resulting in this man going back to Korea with these democratic ideas that he picked up inside of the labor movement, and to take back and start the insurgency and the independence movement in Korea. It's like it's really wild. Like this like sort of free flow of immigrants and information over this huge swath of the world. Yes. In a time when like travel was not easy.
Yeah. So, how was he getting around? Did he take a boat? Were there planes in 1908?
Peter.
I don't know. I really don't know. When was the Wright brothers?
They were not.
Okay. See, like, how is he doing all this?
Ship. He took a fucking boat.
Without internet, without email. Like, how is he reaching all these people? Like,
exactly.
My God, An Chang-ho, like, truly.
kick ass. But also
Kick-ass.
this professor as
Edward
well.
T. Chang.
Yeah.
Yes. For our Indiana Jones, our Korean Indiana Jones.
It's a really cool thing. This is a very cool, fascinating article. I would highly recommend. Okay, so my kick-ass Korean, her name is Helen Parada Kim. She's of mixed Korean and Spanish heritage. She's based in Berlin, like the coolest art city. There's also like a very strong expat community of Koreans in Berlin. Very interesting. And she was brought up in Germany. And this multicultural upbringing, she's an artist. And all of her art, if you go to her Instagram, is incredibly interesting. It's mostly family portraits. And they are like really ghostly. And this is off of her website. They say they exude a mysterious, almost ghostly feel. Just as photographs tend to fade over time, the artist renders her family members diffusely in her memory and in her art. In her work, Helena uses costume as both a cultural signifier and personal index of her heritage. And so it's funny because, we've talked about it often on the pod, but so many of our Korean creative counterparts have called the dream and ghost worlds in so much of what they have chosen to represent.
Yeah.
And it's,
ooh, this is thematically tingly.
yes! I mean,
that's Kishin.
That's Gishin. Like, truly, like, it's something about, and there was an article we had talked about a couple of weeks ago, but there is something about the otherness of the ghost world that strongly ties Korean people to each other and to our ancestors and the stories, even though a lot of it is rooted in trauma, and so we don't talk about it. And that's the reason why it takes on this, like, it exists as a specter, never as reality. It's never as a war memory about nanas and mimas and shit. It's always like, Harmony didn't like that. Like, it's she was betrayed by someone in Busan.
Oh, yeah. There's a traitor involved for sure.
It's always like something like that. It's like always nebulous, and it's the reason why she's like fucked up, or it's the reason why none of us have any money. It's always like there's a reason for it. And if you go to our Instagram, you check out her artwork. It's incredibly fascinating. She's rep by like pretty big galleries and stuff. But like for me, like a lot of this, like cultural signifiers that like even people that are who are biracial or live in places that are not strongly Korean, there's like certain things that for them are indelible, and it's interesting to see even these people like connect with it in this way. It's just really fascinating. Anyway, that's my kick-ass.
Awesome. Helena _Parada, Parada _Kim. Check her out. I couldn't find socials for Professor Edward T. Chang, but yeah, maybe you could find them and let us know.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Reach out to us on our socials and email us at ajumashow@gmail.com if you have any questions, or sometimes there's people email us about like kick-ass Koreans in their lives they want to shout out, and we love personal stuff like that too. So
this lady was a personal
was a shout out?
Was a shout out from Amy Doe, fan of the
nice.
pod.
Hey, Amy.
Hey, Amy. But yeah, that's the reason why I just highlighted her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, take care of yourselves. Have fun in the ghost world, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.